Arraignment of suspended Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele stalls again. Nigerian Universities Commission unveils blueprint to boost academic standard in Nigeria. NSC DC nabbed 13 suspected rail track vandals. Welcome to NTA Jebode News at 7. My name is Famoyegun Temidayo. The Managing Director of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Aminu Umar Sadiq, says the country is still in need of more fertilizers for the country to be secured in food supply. The Managing Director stated this in submission during an investigative hearing by the House Ad hoc Committee investigating the authority since inception. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Apart from the main Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund to the NSIA, the House Ad hoc Committee seeks more explanation on other funds like the Abacha loot and how the agency released the sum of 144 billion naira in 2023 through an approval from the presidency. On the issues raised and the NSIA contribution in the production of fertilizer, the managing director says the authority has a mandate of creating companies and give waivers for a certain period as capsulated in the annual reports submitted to the National Assembly from 2013 to date.
We have developed and co-developed over 10 institutions and platforms to improve the financial market ecosystem. To name a few, we created a company called InfraCredit, a financial guarantor that motivates domestic capital from pension funds into the infrastructure sector.
The committee chairman requested additional information on the Kano Solar Power Project and detailed sources of funding, including recoveries and stabilization funds.
At the point that Nigeria is now, there is need for transparency and accountability from everybody in public office.
The committee resolved to invite the Auditor General of the Federation, Minister of Finance, and the Central Bank of Nigeria for further clarification to ensure transparency and accountability are adhered by the NSIA. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Still on Assembly matter. Meanwhile, the management of the National Assembly says it's working toward achieving renewed process of the best legislative practice, especially that of harmonious working relationship with the executive arm. Clerk of the National Assembly, Sonny Magaji Tambuwal, at the capacity building workshop for workers of the Federal Parliament in Abuja said that the idea is to be more staff-centered and to leave an enduring legacy through the institution reform efforts by the federal government. Again, National Assembly correspondent Abdullah Aminu reports.
This training is a critical tool for development and promotion of the organizational growth by the National Assembly, with the theme reorientation for improved productivity and service delivery. The capacity building targeted on some identified issues by the management after an assessment tour of all directorates.
In the legislative process and procedures, civil service and financial rules and regulations, and emotional engagement among others.
This training is part of our renewed efforts to evolve a more resourceful, professional, and efficient National Assembly bureaucracy that is capable of optimally discharging its statutory responsibility.
The training is expected to help in realizing an improved workforce and institutional structure that would catapult the legislative service to an enviable height. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Now to politics. Nigerians are expecting the newly sworn-in ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to align with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu if Nigeria must develop and also enjoy the dividends of democracy promised by the present administration. This is the view of residents and stakeholders in Ijebu-Ode while speaking with Anthony Gandonu.
To fulfill the nation's constitutional provision for a complete government, 45 ministers selected across the country have been sworn in by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with a call on them to serve the country selflessly.
As your country honors you today by this call to service, you must each work to make yourselves worthy in the eyes of God and all our nation's people.
Reacting to these developments, residents in Ijebu-Ode say the newly sworn-in ministers must give a full support to the renewed hope, vision and agenda for a better Nigeria.
Nigerians voted for a renewed hope, and so these ministers must bring this hope to reality in the life of every Nigerian.
We expect each of them to deliver as expected from the citizen of this country, Nigeria. We know very well that we have been having issue in the past, but this time around we want to see a difference.
They also spelled out areas of focus if they must deliver their mandate.
There is one big problem, and that is corruption. Even if you appoint the best brains to man ministries, if that corruption is not checked, it is still 0/100, so to say.
The respondents therefore charged the new ministers to see their appointments as a call to service and an opportunity to implement the long overdue reforms that will bring about peace, security and prosperity for citizenry as contained in the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In Ijebu-Ode, Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
In the same development, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun is urging the newly sworn-in ministers from the state to undertake programs and policies that will lift Nigeria and Nigerians to unprecedented heights and justify the confidence reposed on them by President Bola Tinubu. Governor Abiodun gave the advice during a reception organized for the ministers after their inauguration by President Tinubu in Abuja. Tokuya Labi reports.
Republic of Nigeria.
Seasoned economist Wali Edun is Nigeria's new Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. On the other hand, Dr. Bosun Tijani takes the lead at Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, while Dr. Ishaq Kunle Salako wears the cap as Minister of State for Environment. This reception, organized in their honor by the Ogun State government, is a show of solidarity as dignitaries across political divides, traditional rulers, past and present political office holders thronged Abuja to celebrate their sons who have been found worthy by President Bola Tinubu.
That we should work very hard and eliminate all sorts of corruption.
I have no doubt that they will serve the nation with their best.
Not just delivering, but they will give quality service.
What will make the president, BAT, happy is what they should do.
The glass of Nigeria is half full, not half empty. This country is on a trajectory to greatness again.
Governor Dapo Abiodun believes the assignment before the ministers is a reflection of President Tinubu's resolve to turn things around in the country and give hope to millions of Nigerians.
You don't have a doubt that you will do us proud. May the Almighty God grant you the grace so you make the best of this opportunity.
I look forward to working with every one of the two ministers to ensure that not only are we able to move Nigeria forward, but also work for Ogun State.
You can see from day one they've started bonding. They are united, and it is all to the glory of God. And it will also bring you value.
While thanking President Tinubu for the appointment, Ogun State government is also using the medium to throw their weight behind the ministers to support them to succeed in the task ahead. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
In the meantime, Minister of Power Adelabu Adebayo has promised to work with all stakeholders in power sector to provide optimal solution for Nigerians' power need across the nation.
Addressing directors, heads of agencies and parastatals under the Ministry of Power as he assumes office, Mr. Adebayo pledged his commitment to achieving success in Nigeria's power sector, leveraging the Nigerian Electricity Act of 2023. The new Electricity Act have opened a new vista for power provision in Nigeria, also encourages public-private partnership approach towards the provision of electricity.
Our aim is to empower Nigeria through reliable and accessible power, ensuring that every home, industry, school, business benefits from our efforts.
Affirming that the power sector is critical to turning around the economy, he says adequate attention will be given to renewable and alternative energy sources to fast-track access in rural areas.
The arraignment of the suspended governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has been stalled for the second time. Godwin Emefiele, one Sadatu Yaro and Efem Late Yaro, who is the second defendant in this matter, were to be arraigned before the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory.
Emefiele and two others are being tried for an alleged procurement fraud running to 6.9 billion naira. The defendants will be facing 20 counts charged preferred against them by the federal government of Nigeria. At the time NTA News visited the court for the adjournment slated for Wednesday, 23rd August 2023, the matter was not listed in the court's list. Emefiele and the two other defendants were equally not in court. It will be remembered that the presiding judge, Justice Hamza Muazu, on Thursday last week adjourned the matter to Wednesday, 23rd August 2023 due to the absence of Sadatu Yaro, who is the second defendant.
Accountability, transparency and passion for the job are some of the propelling qualities that keep one going, either in public or private sector, irrespective of the situation or challenges. This is the submission of guests at the retirement party of the former branch controller, Central Bank of Nigeria, Abeokuta office, Alhaji Wahab Lanre Hussaini, as he bows out of service. Akim Jimo reports.
It was an evening to behold where encomiums galore characterized the retirement party of the former controller, Central Bank of Nigeria, Abeokuta branch, Alhaji Wahab Lanre Hussaini. Former colleagues and associates from across the country converged on Abeokuta to honor one of their own, Alhaji Hussaini, who also clocks 60 in the land of the living.
He knows the work and he's a very frank person. If you annoy him, he will tell you outrightly.
He is honest and straightforward, dedicated and has a national outlook.
Anybody who have one reason or the other to come across him while in service will testify to the fact that he's a very upright man.
He had made us to know that whatever decision you are taking as a leader, you should have it at the back of your mind that definitely you must step on people's toes.
The celebrant and his family members were full of appreciation to God for his benevolence and protection thus far.
Excellence is the word, and discipline and higher productivity to help the nation among other agencies. That we have always achieved, but we want more. That will be an optimum excellence.
He wants the best for us and for everybody around him. That's certain as well. So he's a good person, a genuine soul.
The sexagenarian was thereafter presented with assorted gift items in recognition of his numerous contributions to human capital development and societal advancement, even as he cut the retirement and birthday cake. Alhaji Wahab Lanre Hussaini holds Bachelor of Science degree in Economics from University of Ilorin, Kwara State, and bagged doctorate degree in Business Administration from University of Delaware, United States of America in 2017, as well as several other professional certificates. He joined the services of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Ibadan branch in 1989, crisscrossed various branches of CBN nationwide before his retirement after 34 years of meritorious service. In Abeokuta, Akim Jimo, NTA News.
President Ahmed Tinubu felicitates with Sultan of Sokoto Mohammed Saad Abubakar III and the Sokoto Sultan in council and royal father as the spiritual of Muslims in Nigerian turns 67th on the 24th of August 2023.
Statement President Tinubu shares in these moments of joy and thanksgiving with the leader of the Qadriya Sufi order, who also serves as head of Jamaat Nasr Islam, Society for the Support of Islam, and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs. The President acknowledges the sacrifices and selflessness of the Sultan of Sokoto, who has, since his assumption of office, worked assiduously for the sustenance of peaceful coexistence in the country and beyond, personally traveling, intervening, mediating, and chairing meetings on the need for harmony. President Tinubu prays for more years of strength, health, and wisdom for His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto.
We will be back after the break. Please stay tuned.
Hey, Iskilu, báwo la ti fẹ́ sanwó ni? Farabalẹ̀. 1,000. We go wash plate tire o. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, hello lówó wa.
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you turn to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Now what go tell?
Thanks for staying tuned. Now to education matter. Osun State government is on the pathway of revamping the education sector in the state. Governor Ademola Adeleke at an education summit organized by the state government in Osogbo promised to put all mechanisms in place for a better learning condition for students. Femi Afariogun reports.
WAEC result analysis showed that Osun State ranked 34th in 2021 and 36th in 2022. The growing concern of state government and stakeholders on performance index and the education sector in the state gave birth to the 2023 Education Summit.
You are enjoined to present your candid opinion and advice on how we shall get it right. The Minister of Education is confident of robust contribution of good people of this state.
With similar summit held 13 years ago, implementation is a bigger challenge for stakeholders.
Although we need to interrogate the question of how we got here, we should, however, be more mindful on how do we get out of this situation. And we can make Osun State to be the best in the world. We walk it, we talk it, not that we talk it alone.
The state government is anxiously waiting for the recommendations of the summit.
Mark it. It is not going to be an exercise in futility. Your recommendations will be looked into thoroughly and it will be implemented.
The 3-day summit is tagged Getting It Right and Revamping Education Sector in Osun State.
Still on education, after an intensive 4-year period of collaboration among esteemed academics, the National University Commission (NUC) has unveiled a comprehensive blueprint aimed at bolstering academic standards within Nigerian universities. The blueprint, which is the culmination of extensive brainstorming session, was unveiled during a high-profile stakeholders colloquium in Abuja. Abdul Malik Azan reports.
At the heart of the colloquium was a focused discussion on the core curriculum and minimum academic standards. Members of the academia convened to delve deeply into these critical aspects, reflecting the commitment of the educational community towards elevating the quality of higher education in the country.
On the 15th March
went through a profoundly vigorous and painstaking process by teams of experts drawn from the nation's universities, comparative professors, professionals, and regulatory bodies, while the private sector was represented by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and all other relevant stakeholders. This principle allows for a good deal of adaptation that suits not only local peculiarities of the universities, but most importantly, provides all universities opportunities to carve a niche for themselves in areas of comparative advantage.
A paper presentation was made during the session to shed light on the intricacies of the new curriculum.
The curriculum, the main concern was relevance and adequacy of the curriculum to the needs of Nigeria. We cannot continue to have our universities and we don't see the benefits that society derives from the university system. Unless we have serious issues.
Deliberations also focused on shared dedication to ensure its seamless implementation, which progressive measures are slated to be rolled out starting September 2023. Meanwhile, the blueprint introduces a transformative shift in educational landscape, introducing 17 disciplines that will define the academic landscape of Nigerian universities by aligning courses with contemporary needs and global trends. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
Adopting the principle of peaceful dispute resolution mechanism whenever issues of conflict arises guarantees a better and safe society. The Olowu of Owu Kingdom, Obasaka, Matemilola, stressed that while declaring open a 3-day technical training on principles and practice of alternative dispute resolution for Owu Palace neutrals, Kemi Orusolu Sikiru reports that the training is in conjunction with the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ogun State Command.
So Kabiyesi, Obasaka, Matemilola, and others at the training. There is no other alternative in sight to conflict and violence other than peaceful dialogue among various parties for peaceful cohabitation and, more importantly, social development. While berating the resultant force that comes with litigations, Matemilola and the commandant NSCDC Ogun State noted that for Nigeria to have sustainable peace, much impetus should be given to alternative dispute resolution and constructive dialogue institutions established by government and other local partners, while people should take advantage of the spirit of dialogue, not war, which they say will bring nothing but regret and destruction.
Issues are normal with human beings. It's been there from time immemorial. Even from the first generation, Cain and Abel, they had dispute, right? And it should always be there. So long as we remain human, it should always be there. And rather than having to go to litigation, where somebody will now have to pronounce judgment, it's better that we mediate. Happy to sorrow.
But when we talk of mediation, of which alternative dispute resolution is a key instrument, the two parties in conflicts are always winners. No winners, no vanquished.
Participating in the 3 days training had the Owu chiefs, wives of the king, youth leaders, NSCDC personnel, and other stakeholders who are expected to spread the message to the larger society. The lecturers drawn from the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Peace and Conflict Resolution Unit in their lectures, they focus on conflict dynamics, emotional intelligence, and conflict early warning, response, and personality trait.
What we just do in this process is get people understand very well that when you have issues, you can resolve it amicably by yourself and peacefully coexist.
For somebody to be involved in alternative dispute resolution, you must be somebody of high emotional intelligence.
We are ensuring that we are preventing conflicts at the early stages before they snowball into a violent situation.
Participants says the training will help to nip conflict in the bud.
I really appreciate this effort. With this program, we'll be able to handle our conflicts better.
That will prepare us for cases we are going to administer or arbitrate upon.
Training continues with communication, conflict analysis, and management. In Abeokuta, Kemi Orusholu Sikiru, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) said it arrested 13 suspects and intercepted 5 trucks used in conveying large quantities of vandalized rail tracks concealed inside iron scrap worth several millions of naira. The Commandant General Ahmed Abubakar Audu, who spoke through the Director of Public Relations Babawale Afolabi, urged heads of security operatives across Federation to caution their respective officers at the various checkpoints against unprofessional conduct. Dennis Temple has more.
These are red tracks, and they are national assets which are very critical to the overall economic well-being of the nation. But recently, vandals have found safe haven in cutting them away for their selfish interests. However, men of the Security and Civil Defense Corps are not resting on their oars in checkmating their illegal activities. Parading some of the suspects who were intercepted with their trucks along Kafanchan and Kaduna states, the Commandant General says the arrest was made possible by his Special Intelligence Squad, who were on specialized operations. He wants other sister agencies to beef up intelligence and safeguard the country's critical national assets and infrastructure.
The arrest was made along 5 different routes and stolen items recovered in the following categories. Category 1, the suspects and exhibits are A. Abubakar Muhammad, age 47, from Gombe State, is a driver of one of the trucks.
Some of the suspects who spoke on their level of involvement claimed ignorance of their actions. However, the railway district manager in charge of the North Central District said the items recovered are worth several millions of naira.
I've seen some of the things there that we can still redeploy to use, especially the UIC 50 slippers is still useful, and that is why government called on security agencies to come to the head of Nigerian Railway Corporation.
Full-scale investigation to unravel those involved in the illicit act is still ongoing. In Abuja, Dennis Temple, NTA News.
Here ends the news tonight. Good night.
Kajo, 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 kayo, kayo.
Shakespeare once said, if music be the food of love, then play it on, let me have excess of it. Music lives in the souls of many, and that is why Window on Abuja wants to find out what it takes to give the soul good music. This is Window on Abuja. I am Pamela Zamfara. The Nigerian music industry is estimated to be around $44 million as at 2022. I wonder how it has grown, what it is like now. Well, I'm off to have a conversation with B-Jazz, but in the meantime, here is a feature about the music industry. Who are the key players? Most of the times we see the artists, we get to listen to the music or see the videos, but there's a whole lot of industry behind the artists. Let's find out what happens behind cameras.
The music industry is a multifaceted ecosystem that extends beyond artists, encompassing various crucial aspects such as record labels and distributors. Record labels sign artists and handle production, marketing and distribution of their music. Music producers, these are professionals who oversee the creation and recording process of songs, working with artists to shape their sound. Songwriters, these individuals who craft lyrics and melodies for song, often collaborating with other artists and producers. Music publishers, these are companies that manage the rights to songs, ensuring proper licensing and royalties. We have concert promoters and booking agents. These people are responsible for organizing live performances and tours, connecting artists with venues and coordinating events. We have music managers. They handle the business aspect, negotiating contracts, guiding and overseeing promotional efforts. We have music streaming services and retailers. These are digital platforms and physical stores that provide easy access to music and allow fans to download. Each of these components collaborate harmoniously to sustain the music industry, fostering creativity, connecting artists with their audience, and driving the evolution of musical expression.
And I will take you in my heart and hold you right where you belong until the days when life is true. These I promise you. These I promise you.
Wow, that was beautiful, B-Jazz.
Thank you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
I'm beautiful.
If you remember, I earlier said I was coming to meet up with B-Jazz, so here we are. And what an introduction. Did you hear that voice? Oh my God, we all love Westlife, don't we? What's Westlife?
It was NSYNC.
Oh, okay.
They used to be my favorite, group artist, and growing up I listened to their music, and they had great influence on me.
Okay.
When it comes to my vocal projection and music influence, yes.
Okay, so you have been in the music industry for how long now?
Yeah, basically 19 years.
Oh, that's a long time. You started pretty early.
Oh yes, I did. Started as being a keyboard player,
You are behind the camera when it comes to music. You're behind the camera and also in front of the camera. Tell us about that. Give us a little insight of how it is.
So most times the glory comes from first behind the scene, all the efforts put in it. And I'm a creative, and I am highly spontaneous.
Okay.
Yes. And that has placed so much value on me at the sport or when I'm actually engaged. My target is excellence. If it's not 100%, then it's as good as nothing. Yeah, so from behind the scene, before we put up anything out there is a lot we put in. Honestly, it's really not easy.
Okay.
Your mind, your body, your soul, everything. So most times you are denied some benefits just to give your audience, good music. And that's very important for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I being in front of the camera, you're actually seeing the finished work